Hey, how's it going? What do we got going on today? We're missing somebody. We're missing
Mr. Peak
Mr. Pete.
flying somewhere.
Yeah, he's in his private jet heading somewhere. Cool, man. So it's just the two of us. So we got Corey Connors at Corrugated, host
Good
of
morning.
Sustainable Packaging Podcast. Got your green face there.
Yes, thank you again for designing this logo. I've had so many compliments on it, Avelio. If you guys don't know, Avelio Matos is one of the top designers in the world for logos, packaging, any kind of thing that needs to be designed. So reach out to him if you need something like that.
Well, you made it easy, right? Because like everybody knows your face. They know you from the TikToks, from all your millions of views on TikTok.
Yeah, right.
Um, No, for sure. At least, right? I mean, you've got millions of views on TikTok.
It's
Um,
it's amazing. It's an amazing world we live in, where
yeah,
somebody like me could have 2.7 million views on, or likes or whatever. I don't remember
yeah,
the
something.
the source. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. And then, yeah, and then you've got me. You've got me, Evelio Matos, host of Packaging Unboxed. And you can check me out at packagingunboxed.com and see what's going on over there. Um, so how would the TikTok ban impact you?
Great question. I think it would affect
Mhm.
some of my sponsorships and things like that. We'd have to adjust our strategies, but that would be fine.
Yeah,
I as much as I enjoy TikTok, if it's banned, we'll pivot and we'll focus on things like LinkedIn and Instagram and
yeah,
other platforms. I think some of those platforms are very, very good to use. I'm amazed by LinkedIn. That video you made for us with the I'm a packaging nerd.
yeah,
That one has 30,000 views. It's incredible,
yeah.
and so LinkedIn is a very viable uh, platform to spread the message about sustainability in packaging, which is my message at Aurora.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. And then today we've got a couple guests coming up here in a little bit. Um, Coming from Wisconsin Stout,
Exciting,
packaging, future
UW.
packaging nerds, or I guess early packaging nerds. We're
Current.
going to talk about some of the stuff they've done for recent project for Pringles. Kind of look at the new innovation that they've created. It's not something that's going to go to market. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But
Yeah.
it's always cool to see like the process and see what the results are and kind of get a little bit behind the scenes on that stuff. So what I love is if you're watching this right now, let us know where you're watching. It's always good to see if it's coming in from YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, and then just let us know where you're coming in from, like what region. Maybe it's just the two of us, and um,
And
and
that's
maybe
okay.
yeah, maybe it's just my mom. My mom's like, hey, don't forget to set your clock back.
My mom loves
Um,
it. Yeah.
yeah, my mom loves it. She number one. She wears the shirt. Um, cool, man. So what's going on? What's the latest thing in packaging that people need to know about?
Oh, wow. Big question. I think there's a lot to know. There's a
Mhm.
lot of very big changes coming with extended producer responsibility and different laws. I think that's something we all need to be aware of.
Yeah,
We're not all lawyers, and we're not you know totally versed in all of the different laws and rules that are coming through the pipeline. But I think my advice is work with somebody like Michelle at Lorax, or work with someone who's a professional
mhm,
to help guide you through this process. They spend their lives reading these laws, keeping up on them, and they can tell you what's appropriate to ship into each country that you're shipping to for
yeah.
packaging.
Yeah. So, hey man, if you're ready, let's bring these guys up and
Yeah,
let's check it. Let's dig into some chips.
yeah.
All right. So, all right, I'm going to change this up here so you guys are the stars.
There we are.
Good morning.
Awesome. How's it going,
Morning.
Ethan?
Morning.
All
Good. How
right.
are you?
Good. So, all right. So, who's Ethan? Who's Lucas?
I'm Ethan.
I'm Lucas.
Perfect. It's like you guys have rehearsed that or something.
Yeah. We had a little jumping back and forth to make sure our names were in the right spots, but we got it. We got it. So
Nice. Nice. All right, guys. So, let's kind of kick this off. What you guys go to University of Wisconsin Stout in Chicago, and right
Where you grew up, right, Avelio?
right where I grew up. No, and then you guys are in the packaging track. So, where are you in your career at school, and kind of like what's the one area in packaging that you guys love so far?
Well, I'm a fourth year or senior, and I'm going to graduate in December of 2024, and then I haven't totally figured out exactly what I like about in packaging specifically. But design is obviously something that's very fun for me.
Yeah. And then what about you, Ethan?
I'm also a senior. I graduate December 2024, so one more semester after this. I like design work, but I don't know where in packaging I want to end up. I just know I've liked everything I've done, so I know I'll be happy wherever I end up, assuming it's in packaging.
Yeah. So like what, all right. So like when we talk about school and, you're a senior. So at this point, like, what are you most comfortable in? Are you in problem solving in terms of like structure and materials, or like the concepting, manufacturability? Like what are you like? Oh, I can dig into this right now. I can go full time.
I would say me personally, when it gets to materials, that's like a part where I sort of struggle in the design process, but I really love the design process. So like corrugated design, paper design, that sort of stuff, for me at least, would be like, that's where I could dig in right now.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. And then we got Anthony jumping on here. How's it going, Anthony? Let's know where you're coming in from, Anthony. Then cool. And then how about you, Lucas?
I would say kind of where I come from. A lot of my background is not only design, but designing it for like be able to manufacture.
Nice.
I think that's a lot of what I steer Ethan from. So that's that we work well together in that aspect.
Awesome. So we got Anthony coming in from Ottawa. We've got Ava coming in.
Hi, Ava.
How's it going, Ava? So no, good stuff. All right. So for me, I like the concept phase where it's just like everything's wide open. You can create anything. So when you're developing, are you guys sketching, or do you go right to CAD? Like what's the process that you guys are building for yourselves so far?
It's a little bit of everything. It starts with like just sketching and very rough drafts, just any idea that comes to mind, we're putting out there. And then once we're kind of filtering through them, we'll start making some drawings of it to find some things that like, this doesn't work. That's not how, like, this isn't even possible. Why did I think I could fold that?
Yeah.
And then it's definitely where, like Lucas said, he's into sort of the manufacturability. And he says, well, that's a great idea, but no shot. You're and then we filter it down. But yeah, I definitely like the conceptual phase more, where I can make anything up. And then it just slowly gets more and more advanced as we go through with our designs.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the coolest parts about packaging is I didn't know what I wanted to be when I started. I wanted to be creative, I thought. And I realized I wasn't very good at that, but I was really good at account management side, business things. But you're going to pivot. You're going to try one thing and you're going to say, I don't like this. I'm going to try something different. And there's so many aspects of this career that you guys can try. So keep it up. You're doing the right things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you got Ethan coming up with a brilliant idea, and then you've got Lucas going just crushing his dreams when you can't even make it. Get out of here.
But he does it in the nicest way possible. But yes, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. That's the rest of your career right there. Yeah. There's always somebody going, dude, that's impossible. But every once in a while, you always get that one person that's like, that's impossible, but we can figure out how to get there. And that's Lucas. That's the superstar on that side. So yeah, let's jump in. So you guys did Pringles International opened up like a contest, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. So it was PAC Global, or Packaging Association of Canada. They hold this event every year where they just do an international design competition, and I don't know about all the time, but the last 2 years it's been sponsored by Kellanova. And this year, Pringles said, make us a Pringles can that is more accessible. That was kind of it. They gave us, can't speak. They gave us a ton of room for creativity and just said, redesign the can. So yeah, Pringles sponsored this event and kind of just let it go, like go crazy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Cool. And then, so for anybody that's not familiar, which I don't know who isn't familiar, but Pringles is basically a round tube with a plastic lid, and it's a stack of potato chips, right? To the point where there's the meme out there where people who get the tattoo, like how deep the Pringles can their hand will fit into the Pringles can. What do we got here? So Anthony's saying, I just remember packaging has perceived value, designing for market that you're targeting, right? So with Pringles, the challenge being making it accessible, right? Because you can't always get in there, and you can't get those last chips.
Right.
So what was your process like before we show what you actually created and what won this? What did you get? What was the process like? How do you start?
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, we're given the idea. We're just coming up with things, writing down everything that comes to mind. And then pretty soon we realized that if the prompt is to make it more accessible, despite the own struggles we may face dealing with a can of Pringles, we don't encompass everyone's point of view. So we tried to get everyone's point of view. We didn't quite get there, but we interviewed as many people as possible, asked as many people as possible. I mean, down to like calling my grandma and saying, hey, what do you think about Pringles?
Yeah.
Great idea.
We made a survey. We put out QR codes at there was a disability festival in Chicago, and we were able to put our QR codes out, get lots of people to take the survey, and just tell us what they think about different packaging, whether it was box of cereal or a can of soup. They told us,
or like Oreo packaging or whatever. Like, what's the easiest thing to open for you? Essentially, is what we were asking.
Yeah.
And then from there, we took the feedback and kind of brought them into different concepts that we kind of already had.
Yeah.
And then
we kind of just thought, hey, this one looks cool. Let's go for it. We had a few ideas. They all seemed pretty good. The final decision was kind of just a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Like, they're all good in their own ways. They all have their own flaws. The answer was just whichever one felt good. So
yeah. Did you prototype several, or you just landed on the one and prototyped the one?
We only prototyped one physical sample.
Physical sample, just the one. We had a lot of models, but the act of actually rapid prototyping for plastic is pretty tough, at least for us.
Yeah.
So once we got there, we could only really take care of one. So
yeah. Okay. So then you've got all right. So what's up, Andrew? And Andrew, somebody you definitely want to know, right? He's got a packaging job board, so you can check him out.
Okay.
All right. So then let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this system that you created.
Yeah.
Right.
Show us.
We go from like a round tube
to more of a racetrack shape.
There we go.
Nice. And then this is plastic.
Yes. So this is a polypropylene EVOH blend to make sure it's rigid, has the barrier properties, but is recyclable as well, which is something they currently don't have. So I guess if you just want the quick rundown.
Let's take a look at it.
If I can adjust it properly. There we go. Racetrack sort of shape, holds the chips in a stable orientation. That way they're not shaking as much, getting broken in any way, especially rise of e-commerce, rigid plastic, holding them in place a little better is huge to make sure they don't break. There's a big gap in the side of our tube for someone to just stick a thumb in, lift up the chips. You don't have to worry about your wrists. You just kind of grab and go. We cover that with a peel and reseal. And then our cap here, this is part of the accessibility part. We just added a little stick of plastic right there. Yeah, we call it our tool. And it just, of course, there we go. You stick it in, raise it, and it holds
chips.
Nice.
Whatever chips right
you
there.
got chips.
Awesome idea. Is it refillable? Is the intention that it's like a Pez dispenser where you buy the chips in bulk and and then you refill it?
We've never thought about that.
You're supposed to say yes. You're like,
but-
yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
This is the future. I love it.
But I don't know. We thought it was just the same Pringles can as like the same use as a Pringles can today.
Yeah.
It definitely is refill. I mean, we've refilled this thing many times.
Yeah.
The goal would be, though, I mean, at least our design intentions were that this would just be single use, which stinks, but that's why we made it recyclable. This one itself is pretty thick because, I mean, we 3D printed it. That's kind of what we can do, but a little bit thinner and that sort of stuff would make it hopefully a little less wasteful.
Yeah. And Anthony's asking, like, what are you guys using for 3D renderings and presentation models?
What we're doing is just SolidWorks. Just make it. We didn't really do any actual we did do rendering.
The renders were done in Blender. So there's a third member of our team. His name is Zach. He's a film major. He takes a lot of great pictures of what we do, makes a great video, and can work Blender really well. So we send him our files and he makes our stuff look great.
Yeah. So he puts the label on and he does everything like that in the digital rendering side.
Nice. All right, man. So PSC puts this on. Pringles is the target. They say make it accessible. You create this. The peel and seal on the side reminds me of Oreos.
Yeah.
Which I've had just a couple interactions with the guy that developed that, and he's like, I retired after I created that thing.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's insane. We got Matt saying great job.
Thank you.
Matt is somebody you should connect with. So you guys are graduating in December. You're gonna start looking for work in the summer. Now's the time to be networking as much as possible, especially here on LinkedIn. Now that you guys have some press, not this show, but like actual press on what you guys did. Matt's an amazing designer. He does some crazy renderings as well. You can check him out. He works with the team over at Enlisted Design. They do some cool stuff. But definitely get out, start connecting as much as possible now. Don't wait till you're ready to graduate, because that makes it really difficult. Andrew's 100% like network. So then, PSC does this. You guys put this together. How many entries are there, and to choose from?
So
there's 9 schools.
Yeah.
That attend. Only 9 are able to actually submit for the actual project, but you have to beat out your school kind of before
Yes.
Before you can even submit.
They're specifying what schools can submit, and each school gets 1 submission. So this isn't just like everyone sends in their ideas. They say, you know what? We will let University of Wisconsin Stout submit an idea. And if they didn't tell us that, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And then within the school, all sorts of people were designing stuff. So we had to have our own things within the school and move on to the next level. And then some of our professors brought in some industry to watch us present our ideas to decide, okay, this is the one we have to submit. So we had our design done, and then it was a month of showing it off to a different group and reworking and showing off and reworking until we got the submission for Stout. And then
congratulations.
Did it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like Highlander. There can only be one. Right? No, that's rad. So then, all right. So you submit. There's 9 other schools, and did you see some of the other entries?
Yes. We were able to see the top 3. So
okay.
Are you interested in hearing what those were?
Yeah, tell us about those.
Tell us about the people you crushed.
Yes, the losers.
So one of them, it was a tube with like 1 flat side, so it could sit on its side. So it could just sit on its side, and then it had a tray on the inside that you could then pull out. I can't remember which one that was.
I don't know. I think that was. I don't know. Actually, no. Maybe third.
Yeah, maybe third.
And then there was. What's the other one? Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then I did not remember that.
Oh,
one.
then the other one, it was the can, except to be honest, I have no clue how it worked, but both sides had two rigid sides that like came apart a little bit to widen the opening. I don't believe they shared the videos of these ones, just some rendering images. And we were exploring similar concepts, not nearly as good as and fleshed out as those ones were. So we had an idea when we saw it, we were like, oh, it's kind of works in that function, but we didn't get to see their full final designs, just some renders.
Yeah, that's cool. Brad, so then you guys, there's three of you guys, you do this, you win this. Do they just back up the Brinks truck to your dorm room? Like, how does it work?
Bags of cash. That's
Not quite. This one had a little it was interesting. So we've done design competitions in the past. It's something we just enjoy. It's a good way to spend our time. And we've done ones where they will fly us to an event to present our idea. There'll be 200 people and we get the fanciest dinner I've ever eaten in my life. This one was a little quiet. We didn't get flown out, which is okay. And it was just an email saying, hey, you guys won first.
Nice.
Send us your bank account. And we're like, oh, cool. And that's kind of where it was for a couple of weeks. There wasn't much to say about it. But then it's international. It's Pringles, and everyone knows Pringles. So even though on the PAC side, there wasn't like this crazy fanfare within the past couple weeks. Like our local news has picked it up, and you guys have picked it up, and our school is putting out articles, and it's been crazy. It's been fun.
Did you get any free Pringles? I got it. How many did they send?
We didn't get any. We didn't get any free Pringles.
I will say, I have spent maybe a quarter of our winnings on Pringles so far. But those are not free.
That's right. No, that's awesome, man. I would say as we kind of start wrapping up here, you guys are getting out in December. Anthony's asking here what, how many projects you guys handle at school at a time?
Good question.
Because it is going to be a little different, like when you get out, when you graduate.
Yes.
Currently we're kind of planning Pack Jam.
So I guess I'll just say project wise for like these sorts of projects, very few. Because while we're working on, I believe, 2 right now, maybe there's a third I'm forgetting. But as we're working on this, we're also taking a number of classes, and we are in a capstone packaging class. And like Lucas mentioned, we are planning Pack Jam, which is a student-led packaging event for packaging students. So all sorts of different packaging students from around the US, some in Canada, are coming together, and that's in 2 weeks, and there's a lot more to get done that we're working on. So
and Pack Jam's coming up. You guys want to talk about that? Tell the world about Pack Jam.
So 3 days, April 7th through 9th. Today's the last day to register. You go on the IOPP website and just look up Pack Jam or Packaging Jamboree. You'll find it. We're going to have hundreds of people, industry, mostly students. So students from all over. Industry, we have a lovely keynote speaker known as Corey Connors.
That guy's awesome.
I've heard nothing but great.
That guy's a packaging nerd.
Packaging nerd.
He'll be here, and we're hoping to have stuff for students and industry alike. We're having talks on AI. We're having just design or packaging competition to win some prizes, and a few just networking events. Like you said, networking. We have, don't know the exact number today, but we're having a networking fair with 35 industries coming, and we're having a lot of student only like ice cream socials to make sure that we can meet with students from other schools, because in 10 years time, the industry is going to be the people who are attending this event. So
they'll all be your employees.
Yeah. They shall all work for you.
That's right. It's nice to meet you. Send me your resume.
Send me your resume, young one. Yes.
No, that's awesome, man. That's great. I think like we said earlier, I think now is a great time to start networking. Definitely, anybody that's in the comments, reach out to them because they've seen what you've done. They know who you are, and start kind of just promoting what you're doing. Start sharing pictures of your sketches, share pictures of your renders, share all that stuff. I'd kind of roll it out slowly so that, people kind of build the story versus sharing everything all at once. But definitely packaging is a lot of fun. Like Anthony says, I don't know. What I personally love about it is that every day is different. One day it might be chips. Tomorrow it might be fragrance. The next day, we've seen people packaging cars. Like there's automotive packaging, obviously.
Yeah.
The guys over at Fusenio, they ordered I think it was like a $3,000 truck from Japan, and it showed up on a pallet, and they did like an unboxing of what this thing looks like. So somebody created that ugly box that this car comes in. So there's all sorts of stuff in packaging, man. It's a ton of fun, man. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I hope you guys enjoy this. And one last shout out to the third member of your team that's not here.
Yes. Zach Hoffmeyer. He's tagged in all the LinkedIn posts. He does amazing video work, rendering. He makes our labels, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's our
Nice
guy.
job, Zach. Are you guys gonna enter this into other competitions like London Packaging Week, Paris Packaging Week, things like that?
Haven't thought about that.
I mean, we will. We
Yeah.
were going to probably submit this to Ameristar.
Yeah.
But
Do it.
London Packaging, well, I'll make sure to look those up, see if we can put it out there. We've got
Yeah, I
a number of projects that we're trying to throw everywhere right now. So
Yeah, I think Pent Awards. I think they've got a student category.
Pinto
I think
Awards.
the
You gotta do
Dieline-
it by this Thursday, so hurry up.
Yeah, I think that the Die Line has a student category as well. Like, yeah, definitely get out there, man, because this is
All right.
cool stuff.
We'll do that.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Ethan, Lucas,
Nice work, guys.
Yeah.
good job, guys. We'll see you. All right, man. Corey, as we wrap up here,
Yeah.
what do you got going on the podcast before we close out?
I had Todd Klein on from Procter & Gamble Tide, and we talked about using cold water to wash your clothes to help save the environment. And it was really, really insightful.
Cool.
That's one of the things we don't think about is the energy required to heat the water when you're washing your clothes is 70% of the carbon footprint. Wow. I had no idea until I recorded that episode. So
Did you talk about the new
2-in-1?
what is it? It's like it's not even like a sheet. It's like it's like a layered sachet of Tide.
No, that was before that was out. Yeah,
okay.
It was a few months ago. But yeah, some exciting things changing in the world of laundry.
Yeah, no, for sure.
How
I
about you?
use
What's next on yours?
well, I use True Earth for my detergent.
Oh, True
And that's
Earth.
and that's just like a sheet, it's no powder, no liquid, just a sheet. You just throw it in there and it washes your clothes. It's pretty rad. What do I got coming on? I got I restarted my packaging school on Fridays.
Nice.
It's basically just called How to Design Packaging. So every week going through like a different step in designing packaging.
That's a great idea.
There's just a lot of questions around how to design it. So the interviews are awesome, talking to people like how they did their project or what they worked on. But it's still not quite answering directly the question of how to design it. So restarted that show. Got some good feedback on there. And then I'm going to have, I've got 2 episodes coming up. I've got one with Vincent Villager, who was the previous designer for Burberry. So he ran Burberry for several years. I've had him on the show. I think it was like episode 1 or 2. We're going through some stuff that he just did for a brand called By Far. And then I've got 2 guys that are crazy from, I think it's Sweden, and their team is called Sonderegger. And it's a father-son team, professional skydivers that do the most insane, amazing packaging that you've ever seen in your life. Like these guys take on any challenge and create some crazy stuff. And it's nuts. I love it. So super stoked about those 2 episodes coming up. So yeah, definitely check us out. Packaging Unboxed. Sustainable Packaging Podcast. Adam's not here, but check out People of Packaging Podcast. I'm sure he's going to have some amazing people of packaging on that show this week as well. Do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe, leave a comment. It's always good to see kind of where you guys are watching from. Any kind of questions that you have on packaging, we can figure out how to answer it with either an upcoming episode or just directly in the comments. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Let's wrap this thing up, man.
All right. Have a good week. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Evelio Matos.